Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Don.
Don.
Morning.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
I am glad you are here. And I guess going through here, I was looking through the list of people and there's some names that I haven't seen, so that's pretty cool. All righty. Okay. Let's, wow, got a good group. We've got 70 pictures to go through. So if you have to order a sandwich, do that because we'll probably be here about till at least 10:30 looking at these things. And any questions for me? Anybody have any questions for me at all? Okay, all right. Here we go. Is Daniel here?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning, Daniel. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. How's San Diego these days?
Starting to clear up. Had the May gray, and now we're starting to get some nice sunny mornings.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you've got some nice texture here. I'm going to be going back and forth between that a lot. I love your smooth highlights from the softbox, scrim, or whatever you've got on here. And then the smoothness here. And then, of course, the very rough texture of the bird nest.
Yeah, I can see why.
It's windy out there, actually.
It's pouring rain.
Somebody needs to mute.
Straight down, be fine. But
and of course, the cap. So I did happen to glance at your stuff and at the image, and I saw that you lit it with a softbox really close. This is so cool. This is where I would want you to start whatever you're shooting. Start with your light as close as you can get it. Move it back to taste. If you're going to move it anywhere, you're going to move it back. If you start anywhere in the middle, you'll never know what the extreme could be. So you want to start at one extreme or the other. Distance doesn't make any sense to start far. So start it with as close as possible. And when you do that, you end up with really beautiful lighting. And notice, by the way, how the lighting has a simple gradient to it all the way down to the front here. A bit poppier and brighter back there than it is in front, because that is an indication of what we lovingly refer to as the inverse square law. In other words, this bird nest is far enough away from this light source that the light falls off before it gets to the front. And so you can build in this wonderful feeling of dimension with gradient. Nice shot, Daniel.
thanks.
Nice shot. Yeah. Are you shooting film or were these left over?
This was for the 24 frames
Oh.
in May extras. So
Okay. Ah, very
couldn't
good,
make up
man.
my mind on which stock to use, so I got a couple.
Yeah. That Portrait 160 is great film.
Yeah.
All right. And so are the other deltas too, by the way. Mark. Oh, Mark. Did we miss Mark's?
Hi, Don. I had a little issue putting the original photo in, but it's in the photo, I guess it's in the comments. There it is.
Okay. Oh, nice. Look at all the text. This was an assignment to look at texture. Your call on what the texture is. And we've got glossy, shiny. This is what we would call semi-efficient here. This is like skin, that type of thing. So we know that it's gold. And then we've got this very rough background here. And all of them are showing nice, the existence of the textures on here, and showing the bowl in front of the rough picture and then that in front of the wood. Yeah, that's very nice. You did not put a white card or anything on this side. Now, is there a reason?
I had a white card slightly in the front, just to bring a little bit of fill into the white picture. I found that the shadow on the white picture was a little dark. But I did bring that white fill card back away. Actually used one of those 5-in-1 white reflectors. I probably
Okay.
could have gotten a little bit more fill.
Yeah.
Kind of on the underside of the brass vase, sort of where the spout is. I might have been able to get maybe a little bit more fill into there.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm wondering, you know, we all tend to use foam core for fill cards, right? I mean, it's part of your universal. But one thing that's true about foam core is a little shiny. It does have a little shine to it, right?
Mhm.
If you go to the dollar store, they have what I would call dollar store foam core. I don't know what it's made out of, but it ain't made out of foam core. It's a
Okay.
porous thing, and it gives you literally about half the bounce that foam core does. And so you might want to keep one of those around as well, just if you want just to open it up, because foam core gives you a highlight, right? This stuff, this porous stuff doesn't give you really a highlight. It gives you it opens it up, but the thing itself is so diffused. Now, if you're far away, you move it 2 feet away, then you're going to get a highlight from it, if you can even see it, because it's still going to be there. But up close, it's very porous and very, very interesting. I just think that I love the vase not lit up, but I think having this be so much in the dark and having that bell just not separate really well there in the dark, we could have handled a little bit more in there.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it.
You bet. Let's look at how you did it. Okay, got your light
Actually,
up here. And you know, I honestly would say that I'd probably tell you to get that light there.
Closer. Okay.
Get it in as close as you can, at least to see if, you know, because could it be too close? Yes, it could be. You could go and yeah, that doesn't work, and just move it back, but move it back small increments, 6 inches at a time, because you'll find that perfect spot for it. Very nice.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, boy. A lot of people are having problems getting in, huh? That's unfortunate. Mark Shaw, did you get here?
Yeah, Don, Zoom made me log into my Zoom account before opening yours.
Oh, yeah, you have to be
Same.
logged in.
But-
Oh, I wonder if they didn't know that.
Usually during the week, I just click on the link and I
Right,
go.
right. But since this is open to the public, I have to,
Okay.
otherwise you get clowns in here.
Okay.
I actually had to create a new Zoom account this morning because I never used one before, but it let me in after I created the account.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Since it's out open to the public, we've had situations where people will come on here, just really filthy people, and start putting up porn and all kinds of stuff while you're talking, and you can't get rid of them because they're hackers. You can like kill their thing and they're just right back. If they have to be logged into Zoom, then they can't do that stuff because then Zoom knows who they are. So we've done away with that. All right. Rainey. Rainey's here?
Yes,
Hi,
I
Rainey.
am. Hi, Don.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to ask you about your post. By the way, this is kind of cool. This is one of my favorite places to shoot.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
I just-
not your house when
Right.
you're gone. Okay. But here in my house, I've got the big patio windows, right? And
Mhm.
I keep the area, you know, my wife's always putting furniture there and I always kind of move it out because I love to shoot there. and that light just drifts in across the tile. It's a beautiful place to shoot. Yeah. So I'm down
Yeah.
with the shooting space. Yep.
Yeah, I looked over there and thought, wow, what pretty light. And I said,
It-
let's see what we can work with there,
Yeah, absolutely. Now your post, what did you do in post? Because this has a unique look to it.
What did I do in post? I think I moved the contrast a little bit to give it kind of a like a look like you were shooting through a veil, right?
Yeah.
So
So you raise the I'm sorry, you soften the contrast because there's
soften the
nothing
contrast. Yeah.
nothing on here is black.
Right. Yeah. I brought so in the curves, I just brought the black to a different point
Okay.
so that it wasn't having like that true black point,
Right.
because I wanted it to be kind of soft and romantic. And what else did I do? I think that's pretty much what I did, was just play with the contrast to get it. Oh, and a film filter, because I love the look of film,
Which do
but I
you,
don't
what,
shoot with film.
what brand do you use?
I was using, I think for this one, I think I used the Color Effects filter and then used the film thing, and I just did the grain how I wanted it. So I didn't use a certain brand. I did where
okay.
it says film grain. So I added the grain myself
Okay.
to where I wanted it to be.
Yeah. Almost every one of my photographs is gone through film emulation.
I love it.
I use RNI, and
Mhm.
I'll take it into either like Fuji Astia or Agfa. And I find it is a great way that if you do let's say you do a series of photographs somewhere and you want to do something with them, by applying the film emulation first before I do anything else to the image, all my colors, the color palette then becomes uniform. 'Cause that's one thing about shooting digital. It'll pick up color from all kinds of different places. Your pictures don't look the same, but this way I get the same blue skies, I get the same yellows, I get the same reds through the stuff. And then I will then modify it, obviously, in Lightroom or whatever I'm doing. But yeah, I'm a big believer in that, just for the fact that I can mitigate the wildly changing colors.
Now, is the RNI filter, is that for Photoshop or is that on a phone? Because I have it on my phone, but I didn't know you could do it with Photoshop.
They have a phone app that I use religiously. Everything goes through RNI, and they have plugins that work in both in Photoshop, Capture, whatever, or Photoshop Raw, whatever that's called, in Lightroom. Because you do it at the raw stage rather than at the final stage. I want to do it on the raw image. I don't want to do it on the JPEG, because it kind of messes it up. Yeah, they do that. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joyce. Is Joyce here? Oh, Joyce, we're missing somebody. Did Lee get in here, or Mark Shaw? Either one of them? Still can't get in, huh? All right. Okay. Well, Joyce, you've missed it, so I'm sorry, but that you did. But lovely shot. I like the highlight here. And all through here. Looks good. This looks nice. I like your little background. I think it's a painted background. So we've got a light coming through a large scrim and a fill card. Let's go back and look at the image. We can see the scrim light down the side. We see the fill card over here. And it's quite lovely. I think you've got a lot of room at the top, which works for an ad easily. And your colors are good too. Very nice. All right, next. Behind the scenes. Bob Morrock.
I'm here.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My picture's not up, but I'm here.
Your picture's not up?
Oh, I mean, it just has my name on there. I don't know. Something's off with my camera, but
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. So we got the cabbage and okay. All right. So I see what I was going to ask you about this dark shadow here.
mhm.
But it's actually, you're using the Westcott tool here, correct?
It's actually that black fill card put the shadow over there. The
This
left
card?
hand size of the board was real sharp looking and it didn't look good. So I put it into a shadow with that black foam board.
Yeah, these Westcott styled for wings or for whatever, I don't know what else to call them. They're there to do that. You could tip your light up this way a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and then that wing will actually take that in. I see what
Do
you're
that as
doing
well.
here. Okay.
Yeah, and that fill card on the right hand side is actually silver on the other side.
Okay. So
That
Okay.
that round one, it's
Okay.
silver on the other side.
okay. Silver gives it a little more pop here. You do have it angled so that you get the reflection. Did you check that out and make sure that it was reflecting into the silver?
Yes.
Yeah. Folks, just know this, that a silver card, if you haven't angled it like a mirror, it's the same as a black card. So. I don't know if anybody knows how to help these folks that can't get on. They're getting an invalid token.
Don, I got that too. I got an invalid, but if you click on the link below where it says the Zoom link, that's how I got it.
Sorry, the same happened to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the same thing, Don. I just got in now, but it took the memory cache clearing and a whole bunch of other stuff to do it.
Is this Mark?
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad you're in. Okay. I'm going to tell her to just turn the browser off and restart the browser. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Who just came on? Boy, Zoom has been crazy. I really like, Bob, how you got that light right down on top of the cabbage,
Uh-huh.
which creates a really nice poppy light that's got a soft fall off. We get the veins of this thing really nice and snappy because it's in so close. That's a contrasty light. And then it just wraps back here. Did you see how I worked the word wrap into this? Anyway. And then this the silver card it's a soft silver card, I take it.
It's basically aluminum foil, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. The shiniest side or the other side?
Shiny side.
Okay. Now it looks a little softer than that. So that comes through and lights it up here. So we get real roundness and we definitely get the feeling of texture. Everywhere on the cabbage is texture. Well done.
Right. My favorite one on that is that leaf on the right hand side. You can actually see the texture on the inside of that leaf.
Right in here.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good shot. Yeah, there's some foods that are just perfect for texture, and that's one of them.
Thanks.
Yeah. Devin, here's a new name. Devin, have you taken a class before? Ooh, Devin, are you here? Okay. Uh-oh, that's not the shot that goes with the image, is it? That's not the image. Devin's or Kevin. Kevin, is it Kevin here? Oh, Kevin. I thought this was really cool, Kevin. Obviously, to my eye, I might be wrong. Let us know on Facebook. But to my eye, it looks really, really good here because you focus stacked it. And that gives such a different look to us. So different. Focus stacking is where everything is in focus from the front all the way to the back. No matter what aperture you're using, it will focus all the way through. And it takes multiple photographs, stacks them, and then blends them to focus. So all the ways, all done all the way through. I think it's a really, really cool shot, Kevin. Can I impose on somebody? Can somebody go to the Facebook page and let them know, make a post and let folks trying to get in know the trick to click the link below the button, or in this case, we had Lee redo her thing. Please let folks know that it should work. I don't know why it looks like Lee's still getting an error. I don't get it. Anyway, Kevin, really, really nice shot. Oh, for God's sakes. Zoom. Hang on, folks. Wait for the calendar. Now it's asking her for the number, even though the number is built into the thing. I don't know. Don't know what happens here. Don't know what happens. This stuff. All right, let's get out of here. This is a really nice shot, Kevin. Really nice shot. And we can see how it was done here. Light above a scrim. And he's not here to ask him, but I use a thin piece of, if you go to Home Depot, you can get plexiglass if you're made of money, because it's real expensive, or you can get this other Perspex or whatever it's called, really crappy. It'll scratch, like you just have to look at it and it'll scratch, but it's kind of, they like use it for the light fixtures, the fluorescent light fixtures. It's real thin. It will break easily, but it's real cheap. You can reinforce it. I use that and plexiglass as my scrim material. I like it better than the cloth because it has no wrinkles in it. Anyway, all right, good. Got to jump ahead here to a different shot because they were out of order. Larry Davidson. Larry, are you here? I hear all these bing bongs, but I don't see anybody showing up at the thing here.
I'm in.
Okay, good.
Actually, I went into my phone to see if I could log in on my phone, and on the phone, I just get in the number. It worked. On the
Really
computer, it's not working.
Really strange.
Very strange.
We always have to remember to cut them a little bit of slack. I mean, can you imagine how many millions of people right now are on Zoom? It's amazing that they can hold up what they do. Larry, are you here? No? Okay. Nice shot. Got it from the side. A little more pulling of light to the front here, or maybe a special, which would be like a snoot or something, to show us this texture by raking the light across the bread here. We've got this texture up here. The light doesn't, it seems to be, my feeling, the light is almost too soft. Handheld flash with a gridded 10-degree snoot. I don't know what I don't see much highlight in that honey. That snoot would have to be coming from back here. There are three immutable laws in photography. Everything else is personal and a guess. There's no such thing as the golden triangle. There's no such thing as the rule of thirds. It's all BS. But one thing is for sure, and that is angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. If you're going to get a highlight off this honey, it's got to be back there so that it reflects into you. If you could just think of playing pool, hit the ball at whatever degrees that is, it comes off the bumper at that degrees. Just think of a mirror. You got to get that light back there. The other one is the inverse square law. And the third one is the Sunny 16 rule. Those all work on all things. Everything else is, every time someone says shoot of thirds, I go, I can think of so many wonderful Ansel Adams photographs that are not in rule of thirds. That's amazing. So, all right, good. Yeah. I don't think it added enough. And actually, Larry, I think your light may be too soft. Bring your strobe closer to your diffuser. Let it get a hot spot on the diffuser because the whole diffuser will light up. Let it get a hot spot there and give a little more pop to the bread. All right, Audie's here. Hi, Audie, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. What is this?
It is a vase made out of a piece of burl wood.
Really cool. Now, obviously, you don't put plants in it.
No. And in fact, actually, my wife picked it up at a garage sale a couple months ago, thinking that at some point I might like to take a photograph of it.
Yeah, well, I think it's cool. I'd love to have that thing because you could put a cool pot inside it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's cool. Now tell us about your lighting, or do we have a lighting? Okay, here's your lighting.
Yes. Basically, it's an octabox over the vase with two reflectors to open up the shadows at the bottom.
Yeah, and you've got them tilted so they get as much, and this becomes again, angle of incidence, angle of reflection. If you put these cards straight up and down, angle of incidence, angle of reflection, they don't do nearly as much as when you do them this way.
Right.
Absolutely lit that up very well. But then I heard you had a good teacher, so I don't know.
Yeah. I've mentioned your name to a couple of folks, and yeah.
Other than that giant personality flaw, he's pretty good.
Not in my book.
The only thing I'm asking, and I don't know, is this highlight looks muted. Is that because of the wood grain?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. I in fact went back and redid it, and I did send you a revised copy via email, but even then I didn't like it, and I was just playing with it while I was waiting for you to come on.
Now you didn't pull this highlight down in Lightroom, did you?
No. Actually, what I ended up doing eventually was using. I use Affinity Photo.
Okay.
And just now I went back into the raw image, and I was actually able to recover some of the detail.
Okay, I do think overall this guy could get a little more contrast. I think we can pull out some of the lights, recess some of the darks, a little bit, get a little more contrast, because it is the contrast of the wood grain that we are seeing. That's what we really want to see. The shape of it is sort of normal. That's kind of what it looks like. So the shape is a given, but it's the fact of all this wood down here. I would go into your curves and see what you can do with some contrast. Build a little contrast into it.
Yeah, well, actually, what I've been doing was not just building a little bit more contrast, but I've also put in a little bit more saturation, so I've got a bit truer color now too.
Yeah, excellent.
Do you have Nick collection?
Yes, I do. I have an old version when it was Google's. I've been thinking about getting a newer version.
Does it have pro contrast in it?
I believe it does, yeah.
Audie, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
If you're thinking about upgrading to the new Nick collection, you'll never regret it.
Okay.
I sort of had to make the change because I had the old one and it got wiped out in one of my updates. And when I went up to it, I've been loving it ever since.
Ah, okay, yeah. I'll do that because the old version I got, the default font is so small I can barely read the selections.
You're one of the lucky few that's still running it, Audie, because it's as the operating systems keep getting more, they keep updating for the operating systems. And I've apparently about a year or 18 months ago, Mac updated, and that pretty much killed everybody's old Nick.
Yeah.
Work. So yeah, I second that. I mean, Nick has 8,000 things you can do on the side, and I only really work with about 3 or 4 of them. There's one called Pro Contrast. That's wonderful to work with. And then when I do landscapes, I do like the one called Foliage, because you can play with your greens only, which are kind of fun. But I don't use everything. And Silver Effects is one of the best converting to black and white I've ever used. So.
Oh yeah, I love Silver Effects myself.
Yeah, very nice, very good. Ron.
The analog effects one is pretty cool too.
It is. It's way cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. I have some paper that's like faux metal paper from Red River with me, and then I take the image and I make it in that old tintype thing, and I print it on that faux metal image.
Oh, that's cool.
Looks like a tintype. It looks pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right, very nice. Ron, are you here? Ron's not here either. Oh, Ron, I thought you did a spectacular job here. Oh, there it is. He can't do that. I thought you did a really spectacular job. We've got the texture of these ochres. We've got the texture of the rope, the surface here. I love this light coming in. I even like a little flare here coming in here. Gives us kind of a nice idea. Your bounce into this part of it here is so subtle and so powerful. Really, really makes the shot. All of these things are great. This all looks good, but this to me is where the magic happens. You filled it in the right amount, I think, for this shot. I think it looks great. And we'll take a look at how you did it right here. Okay, so he's wrapped, it looks like he wrapped a sock around a honeycomb grid rubber mounted tea towel diffuser available at Walmart. Yeah, very cool. If you have never put a scrim over a grid, check it out sometimes, guys. It's kind of cool. Just make sure it can breathe because it gets real hot in there.
That's what I did, Don.
What's that?
When you see my shot, that's what I did.
Did you? Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll tell you this: you can put a snoot, you can put a scrim over the front of a snoot, and it changes it, of course, because it's going to give a soft edge. But you could do some really nice things with very small snoots with a little bit of diffusion over them, because then you don't get that real sharp edge. It's still an edge, but it's slightly softened. Really nice. Ron, it's a good shot, sir. Good shot. Did Kevin show up? Ah, darn it. Okay. Catherine Gooding. Hey, found that one. This has been a popular photo subject, I think, since the invention of the camera. There is something, and you follow me on Facebook, right? So I'm addicted to agave cactus. I mean,
yeah,
it's the shapes and everything. I just love it. Wow, look at your light. All right.
it's strictly backlit with an LED panel.
Okay.
And I was doing my setup and I was just trying to visualize what my angles were going to be. And I was using my cell phone to do this capture, thinking that I could post it in a group and then replace it later with the DSLR version, which is almost exactly like this, but it wouldn't let me do that. So this is from my Pixel 6 cell phone.
Okay. That's an amazing camera.
Mhm.
The Pixel cameras are really great. That's a beautiful shot.
Thank you. I just have been looking at this hosta for, I don't know, years now, and I'm fascinated by it. And once in a while, you'll see the backlight of the sun coming through on the plant out in the wild. And
yeah,
I'm like, okay, finally have an excuse to go steal a couple leaves.
I have hundreds of pictures of light coming behind cactuses and behind palm fronds. I love the symmetry of palm fronds. Yeah, really nice.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. And that's the sun back there, or
no? That
light.
Go ahead to the next image and you'll see the setup.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's just a LED panel, 500 or at like 5,000 Kelvin, 100%, shining up into the leaf.
Do you remember what your exposure was?
Well, it's the Pixel phone, so I have no idea.
Oh, that's true.
on the DSLR image that looks almost exactly like that, it was 3 seconds at f32 with ISO 200.
ISO. So you can only imagine what the ISO is on the Pixel phone.
Right.
It's got to be like 3004 or something,
Right.
Yeah, really nice.
Thank you.
Here's a question for you with your Pixel phone, and I'm gonna ask everybody with your phones. I use iPhones. My daughter uses the Samsung phones, and I have a theory, and the theory is that the world looks better through a phone. Have you ever noticed that? Like, no matter where you are, you pick the phone up and you go, "Oh, that's so much better." It's just the world's better through a phone. Anyway,
can be.
I guess it's the frame. We put a frame around things. I like this part of me. Judy. Judy's not here either? My goodness. Okay, well, we've got somebody just came in, Zoom users. I've got a whole bunch of people called Zoom user. And did the person come in? Is that Judy?
Hi, Don.
Hi, who is this?
Judy. Can you hear me?
Judy. All right. Well, you're right in time, Judy.
Yeah, I was on there and I knew I was coming up, and then my phone wouldn't let me. I don't know. Zoom didn't have the microphone on or something, but whatever. I fixed it.
All right. I love this little shaft of light thing you got going here. Really cool. Rusted tools are a great favorite of everybody. Rust is a favorite for me anyway. I mean, I don't know an old building or a shack or a rundown mine in the Southwest that hasn't been crawling with photographers. It seems like we're all fascinated by this. And I wonder if it has anything to do with time, since photography is such a time-based art. Love that little highlight through there. So this got a little bit of a sharp edge on this highlight. Is this, before I go over to your behind the scenes, is this made, or did you find this and then work to the light?
Ask that again now.
Did you find this little shaft of light and work to that, or did you actually?
No, I made it. I made it. I knew what I wanted. These are old tools that my dad had in his garage. And when I was a kid, I used to go in his garage. When I'd open the door, there'd be a shaft of light from a window that hit his workbench. So I was trying to get the same kind of thing. So I created that.
Okay. The texture everywhere, because this is a hard side light, and hard lights create texture.
Right.
Okay, so your light is?
It's a single speed lights, pretty far back.
Yeah.
I started closer and I just kept moving it back till I got what I wanted. I knew that there would be the fall off, and I was hoping there would be the fall off because I didn't want to be tempted to create that darkness around with a vignette. I just wanted
Right.
to kind of do it in camera. So
So you're shooting
I-
through this little opening here, the light. I mean.
yeah, because there's 2 black cards. Yeah.
Did you ever,
There's
did you
opening.
notice that you have to make the opening smaller than you think you have to make it?
Yeah, that's actually pretty narrow. I had to
Yeah.
keep moving those around. And then it was still a little bit hot on the left side of the image. So I used a little piece of parchment paper there. I didn't need a big scrim because I didn't need any more light spreading all over the place. So
Okay, so
I
you
kept it small.
parchment paper is right in here.
It's right up on the speed light over there.
Oh, over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you softened it a little bit
Right.
before it got to the opening. Very nice.
I'm
Judy.
really trying hard not to do a whole lot in post. If I can do
Well,
as
you're not-
little in post, I'll be happy.
You're not alone in that. I was talking to a couple of photo editors a few weeks ago, and one of the things they said is there's a trend that they're wanting pictures to look more like they came out of the camera. In other words, there's a trend in photography looking like photographs again, rather than looking like illustrations, and that's not a good or bad thing. It just is. You know, I have no problem with photo illustration. I'm fine with it. People can do what they want. And some people do it really well and it's really fun. But there's a kind of a tendency that they're wanting it to look like pictures. And I was talking to a photographer who does really almost nothing with it. His thing is, let's get it perfect in camera. Then when we go into Photoshop, we can make it a little bit better or tweak it, just like in the darkroom. But this idea of shooting it crappy and then doing everything in post, I'll tell you this, there's no future in photography if that's how you do it.
Right. I mean, it's not like I didn't do anything in post. I just didn't have to do much. I didn't.
Right. You created the shot in camera. Then in post, I mean, even with an enlarger, we dodged, we burned, we did a lot of stuff. So there's no problem with that. All right. Jim,
So I don't have to redo anything?
No, ma'am, you done good. You did very well. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Hey, thank you.
Good.
What are these peppers or are they leaves?
It's an Indian, like a Middle Eastern spice.
Okay. Wow, we got great texture here on the wood. The spice itself, it's a lovely shot, especially the silver with all the, more or less gold tones around it. It's very, very nice. Pure black background. It's hard to see the shadows here. It's just, everything is so small. And so I think you've got a little bit of a hard light on this. Am I right?
Well, kind of, sort of, a softbox, but no diffuser.
Softbox with no diffuser?
Yeah.
Okay, so a big hard light. Oh, there's a diffuser here.
Well, I guess no scrim, I mean.
Scrim. Okay. Oh, I see. So you're just using the softbox. Got it.
Yeah.
If you take the front panel off the softboxes, folks, you end up with a very large hard light, which means that you don't have to take your light farther away from your subject to get hard, sharp shadows. Keep that in mind. Cool. All right. Well, it's really lovely through here. It looks like you got some fill cards going. Yeah. All right. That's nice, Jim.
Okay. My only question is, on my little canister thing I set there, that silver thing.
Yes.
Like all those little characters and stuff on the front are embossed. So how would you kind of pull that out more? That the people that'd be obvious that that's a embossed or.
To make them more of that embossed look.
Yeah.
I would probably use and I don't use them very often, folks. I'm not a big snoot fan. Okay. Snoots are very specific things, but let's say you take a speed light and you put the aluminum foil on it like this, and then you take the aluminum foil and you bend it down to a little bitty opening like that, right? So it's attached to the speed light. you could drive a little bit of a snoot right along the side here. That would be old school. You want a tiny snoot and you don't want it to go very far because you don't want to cast shadows. You don't want this thing to throw a shadow over here into this thing because then it's obvious, right? So you really have to finesse it. New school, I probably would have done one with the snoot right down the side and then replaced it in Photoshop. So I've got this shot, then I've got the same shot that we have here with a harder light with me.
Right.
Put the hard light below the soft light one here, and then using a mask, just gently brush in the parts on here where you'd want that hard light to show.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, we want to use the tools that Photoshop has in the right way, and that's definitely a right way. It's a lot easier than trying to figure out how to get a snoot in there, although you can, and we all did. Nicely done, Jim.
Thanks.
Paul Furland.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you, Paul?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this your first?
Yeah,
lighting
I took a
session?
class with you a few years ago.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm back.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay, my first impression is really nice textures everywhere, Paul. You took the idea of the shot and you just did it. You did all this, and then you have the glass. So all these soft textures everywhere, the glass just pops. It's very nice. It's really rewarding here to see that because they really pop. My second thing is I think the shot's about a half stop under.
Okay.
The way I'm seeing it here. I would put, are you a Lightroom user or?
Oh yeah,
One?
yeah. I might
Lightroom?
have toned it down the highlights, but yes.
Yeah, I'd go back and I think globally I would raise your exposure just maybe 2 clicks.
Okay.
See what it looks like. Did you mitigate the highlights?
I had a lot of trouble with the speculars on the glasses, but I thought they were too strong. So I dialed them down, but maybe I shouldn't have.
I think, well, no, you probably had to dial them down from where they were, but I think you may have dialed them down a little too much because this is your subject,
yes.
Right? Everything else is there to support the glasses. I'd give them their day. I'd let them pop a little bit.
Okay.
All the way through there. Yeah, good. And there's a little bit of a vignette I see going on. Is that in camera or is that in post?
No, that's well, yeah, it was a black cloth I had shot this on, but it wasn't completely, it didn't show black in the photo for some reason. It must have had a little shimmer to it. So I tried to tone it down, make it disappear.
Yeah. See, when you look at it, now that I look at it, the thing that's bothering me, let me ask anyone else. Let me ask my man Giannis in Greece. Giannis, do you see something that's standing out more than the glasses?
Yes. That's the wire there and the button.
The button. The button is brighter than the glasses.
Yes.
Wow.
And the highlight on the front side.
Right here?
That's high. Yeah, no, down. Yeah. And the line horizontally. It's eye catching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this one here. This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you control that?
In other words, the way we want to get to here, we can't have this bright guy up here and these guys being less. And I don't want to tone that down. So you're going to have to bring these guys up. Okay.
Got it.
When I first looked at it, I said, I knew there's something wrong. But then as I started to close it out, I went, I see it. I see it. All right. So your light's up there. And again, I think I would have told you, get that light in there.
Oh,
get it as close as you can get. You can always move it back, but start with it there and see what you come up with.
Great.
Okay? And as far as your glasses, we are in the 21st century now. So if you have to do 2 shots, one with these glasses a little bit brighter, whatever, this is an easy replace in Photoshop. Just drop the other one below this one and paint it back. So yeah, cool.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bob Royer.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Good, good.
I like your texture in your rock and in the silver, and then up here in this stone, which is really, really pretty. The highlight, you're side lighting this, am I right? From the side here?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so the side's picking up these guys and showing us very well what they look like. But the ones that go across are black.
Okay.
And we needed a white card, somewhere out here. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection, somewhere
Right.
out here to give these at least a little stripe of white. It doesn't have to be as big a highlight as this one, but we need something on there so they're not pure black. Where it's going over down here, I would have put a white card down here somewhere just to pick up this curve, let them still show through. Because it is the idea, because if I was a consumer looking at this, a consumer could think, oh, these are going to be black in the front. So the jeweler puts it in his website, and 15 people ordered and 3 people send it back because they thought they were black in front. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And believe me, that crap happens. Ask anyone selling anything, they'll tell you. Another card here for this chain. Look how pretty this chain is because it's facing your light. This chain's facing away and it dies here. Again, that white card over here to open that chain up. Even if you don't want it to fill in the rock, that would be fine because you could then just put the bright chain below this chain and using a mask, just reveal slightly, just pull it up, pull this chain up to where you want it to be.
Okay.
Nice shot. What kind of stone is that?
I have no idea. It's just one of my wife's that I stole.
That's really cool. That's a cool piece of jewelry. Yeah. All right. You know what? Is it still set up?
No, it's not, but it's easy to redo.
I would tell you this is a nice clean shot. You got a cool rock here to do it with. I would do it again and just really just be so fastidious and deliberate about how these things show up, these little devices here, because that is what makes this stone work. This is a third piece of jewelry in 2 days that I've seen that has this sort of whimsical metal holding the rock in place. How weird is that? I guess that I'm destined to see another one of those. Very cool, man.
Okay.
Really
I
nice.
will do that.
Yep.
Thank
and
you.
yes, and Joe.
Hi, Don.
Hey, Joe, we got some beautiful. Now, is this in your studio?
Yes.
Okay, so our
Neighbor's tree fell down a couple months ago, so I went out and scarfed up a few of their pieces.
is this a birch tree?
Birch, yeah.
Birch tree. Okay. We have aspen trees out here. They're similar, right?
Yes, I think so.
Wow, look at all the textures. We got the textures of the trees, the textures of the leaves. The blade has nice texture to it. It didn't go all chromy and too shiny. Very nice. And the unit itself. This is a very nice, clean product shot, Joe.
Thanks.
And so take a look at your behind the scenes here.
Softbox over the top to get the blade to light up because that one branch was in the back and the light wasn't coming over.
Right.
And then that softbox is really, I panoed this picture, but it's really feathered basically just for the pine cone up front.
Okay.
Too lazy to take the softbox off.
So the
It's feathered forward.
So the main light is coming from the top. And the feathered light is kind of providing that ambient fill.
Some of the fill there.
Yeah. All right.
And there's a black card sitting off on the left just for the tip of the blade to make it stand out from the white a little bit more. Yeah, right there.
Okay. All right, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now that blade, folks, that blade has got a tooth to it. You can see it's not chrome. It's not a chrome blade. It's got a little bit of tooth to it. Each one of those teeths, or whatever you want to call them, each one of them is basically a ridge and a valley, right?
Yep.
So when he puts the black card over here, this side of the ridge is reflecting the black card. Everything in photography is reflectance. You don't see anything that isn't reflected back to you. Light is simply reflected back to you. These are inefficient surfaces, so the light is very diffuse. This is an inefficient surface. You're not going to get a specular highlight on that. You're going to get a specular highlight on this silver here because it's a very efficient surface. And then in the plastic, they use both efficient. That plastic is shiny, so it's going to pop. It's going to show, actually, it's a mirror of the softbox above it. That's what's making this that light gray. Even though in our brains, we know for sure it's a black knife. We know because we've seen the phenomena of reflected light since we were, 8 months old. It's been percolating in our brain. We know what it looks like and we know what it means. So we just have to bring that out. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thanks.
Arnold. Oh, Arnold's got to be here. Is he not here?
No, Don, I think he posted that he wasn't going to be able to make it.
Okay.
Oh, and we had to have a conversation.
Damn,
Arnold.
Dude.
We were going to really have it. Darn it.
Man.
Oh,
Just-
well, we're gonna
This one.
we need to put it for next week.
Yeah. And it's not, it's the concept is cool. The production is absolutely gorgeous. Down to the thing, down to adding this little fill, the bottom of the snake thing coming from under here, the rock down here, whatever that is, the edges on it, these being up here almost out of focus, and they look like they're black and white. And then to have these rocks be so perfectly spaced here, that's just a killer shot, Arnold. Congratulations, dude. That's really, really beautiful. And look how simply lit it is. Look, it's one big softbox with a white card over the top. Look how simple it is. The LEDs for manual focusing. Yeah, I shoot Canons and Nikons both. With my Canons, I always have to have another light for focusing. See, Nikon says our cameras focus. Canon says, well, focus is sort of a, personal thing. Good luck with it. Jan Van Toon.
Hello.
Hi, Jan. How are you? Is it Jan or Jan?
It's Jan.
All right, Jan. That's your, is this foam core?
No, it's an old LED screen, a Samsung screen. If you look to the next image, I just used the old computer screen.
So it's got a little bit of a texture to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a look at that surface. That's beautiful. See what we're seeing here. This is a reflection of the light that's up there. The light hits this and then comes back to us. But since it's a diffused surface, it's got little bumps on it, a little tooth to the surface. The diffusion is matted. It's muted a little bit. And then it so softly goes out. Now, if you're doing this with plexiglass, it will do that, but you'll get a much brighter here and it'll fade faster because it's a reflection of the unit above. Really well. Have you shot jewelry before?
No, it's the first time, and
you're really pissing me off, Jan.
No, I wanted to shoot a hammer, and that didn't work at all. So I really liked the shot we saw before with the tools. I wanted something similar, but it just felt lonely and out of context. And then I found something I bookmarked on my computer, and I just copied a jewelry shot. And what I didn't like was that it's not completely in focus, but since I've joined here, I've learned how to remedy that through focus stacking.
Focus stacking. So what camera do you shoot?
I'll do that. It's a Nikon D750.
Okay. Yeah, and this would probably take you
3-4 shots.
Like 4 shots, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that you want to work on, this is the hardest thing. This is not just you, buddy. This is all of us, is these little chains. They've got to be, that little chain has to be perfect. So
it's disgusting. It was so hard to get it.
It is very
to
hard.
get it into a nice shape. But how do you do it? Do you put
First,
a
you
cork?
pull it straight, pull it
Right.
straight out, and make sure all the links are the same, you know, doing the same thing on the surface, right?
All right.
And then using a matchstick or a toothpick, or I use I went to a used dental equipment office
All right.
30 years ago and bought some used dental equipment. They're just little sharp picks, and you take this ring here, you put something round here, a thimble,
All right.
like a thimble or a film canister, and you just pull it
I
gently
see.
down there and
Yeah.
it goes right
All
around.
right.
Yeah. But it's if the things, if the links are flipped over or two going the same way and everything, it doesn't work because it'll always be bumpy. You got to get every link to lay the same way.
Okay.
And in shooting photography, folks, when you show your portfolio to, especially to an art director or a client that, or a jeweler, you know, that's the first thing they're going to look at, because everybody has that problem. And did you fix that problem? So,
Okay.
yeah, very nice. Let's look at your light. So you got a light coming in from here, back here, right?
It's a snooted speed light.
Okay. The snoot
Pretty
gives us
high.
the small
Yeah.
area. And then this guy is
like a kung fu. I made it myself. It's like a very small softbox made from, there's aluminum foil in there and just a piece of office paper at the front.
Yeah. Are there any old time photographers like me that remember making our soft boxes out of foam core? You know, they didn't always used to fold up, folks. My first two soft boxes could not go anywhere because they could not fit out of the studio door. They were built in the studio and they remained there. It was like when you got out of wherever you were, if you were going to school or you opened your first studio, the first thing you did was build your soft box, foam core, plywood, little corner molding, screws and glue and a whole bit. It was like a Jedi making his lightsaber. I mean, it was really serious stuff. You built your box. There's no reason why you can't build soft boxes today. That's a great one. And that one's just adding just a tiny wink of light, right? Right here. That's that reflection that we're getting there that really adds a lot to the shot, a lot. And because angle of incidence this way on that surface, angle of reflection, right? It's over here, it's not coming to the camera. So does this thing make a reflection on this black surface? It absolutely does, if you were shooting from over here. If you stood over here, you'd see the same thing happening here, but you wouldn't see this one because this one's only coming to the camera. One of the things I love about photography is how deliberate we are.
Can I ask a question about the fill to the left? Because I was really unsure about whether I should use the fill or not.
That's the fill here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have used it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Would it make a more sexy image if you didn't do it? Yes, it would, right? But
it was more contrast without
exactly.
it. Yeah.
But the jeweler is not going to
Okay.
be happy with half of these things going dark.
Okay.
Yeah. And in Project 52 and everything that I do, I'm very focused on the commercial applications,
right.
not art. So
Thank you.
art-wise, y'all do your own. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Giannis.
Hello, Don. Hello, everyone.
That is lovely. Just beautiful.
By the way, we name it. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Right, Yanis?
I really liked it. Yes, Lee, you're right. I loved it.
What is this?
That's coal.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had to think something and I didn't have much. And I thought, oh, okay, let's do with coal.
Yeah.
And I treated it a lot more like a landscape and a product. I just merged both of them.
You built, I mean, it's so interesting because this does look like, big giant mountains back here.
Yeah, that
Very
was the
cool.
concept, yes.
I recognize the coal because I used to get that for Christmas a lot. This is, are these, anyway, this is full color, right?
Yes,
This is not a black
much.
and white picture with color jewelry. This is in color. Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Just lovely.
I used 3 lights here. One for on the top, reflector with a honeycomb with a grid on it, and a screen just to make the light from the top smoother with very nice transitions from light to dark. And from the side lights, I wanted just to feel the dark side of coals, just to put them on the zone 2, 3, kind of this. I wanted to feel that dark side of coal. As you see the front, as always, I do the background like sunset, sunrise, call it whatever you want. Yes, that there. And the second shot is from the same light from above, just to give the light from the jewelries, from the earrings, and the coal itself. The third is all the 3 lights together for field shadows. That shot was used for field shadows. And then in post, I painted back the field I wanted to paint
you got
back.
your glow back here.
Yeah.
And you added contrast in post. Pull this up.
Yeah, I just dodged them a bit. Highlighted from the luminosity itself. Yeah, I just grabbed the red channel and dodged on that channel itself.
Nice, really, really nice, beautiful shot.
Because that has a lot of texture in it, earring itself and the coal, and I thought it was nice. Yes,
yeah,
it was nice to do that.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, great shot, Giannis. Absolutely great shot, and again, beautiful the way you did it.
Yes, thank you.
Those of you who are new, Giannis has been here before. Giannis is a full-time product photographer in Greece, and is a very deliberate and focused photographer. So you will learn a lot from Giannis's work. And Arnold's as well, and everybody else too. But Giannis does this full time. So, thank you, sir.
Dan.
Matt Emick. Matt.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. It's cool how you got your light here. I mean, you got light from back here. You got light from over here. There's lights everywhere. I don't know what this is.
That is, like I put on Facebook, it's a little embarrassing, but I had a couple sweet potatoes and a white potato that were in a cabinet, and some things got put in front of them and forgot that they were in the cabinet. I found them quite a bit later, and the sweet potato had grown these eyes that are like almost a foot long, and the potatoes so it's a sweet potato with a bunch of crazy eyes and a white potato also with crazy eyes. So
yeah, very, very cool. Once back in college, my roommate put a crock pot full of stew on top of the refrigerator and forgot about it.
Huh.
You will not believe what grew in that. This is great. Let's look at your lighting here. Okay, get rid of that. Boom, boom. Turn off. Thank you. So it's not just one light, is it?
it's 2 lights. It's and that's, you see, I did a lot of different setups. I moved the light around. So I think for that one, the light was more straight side light. So it's It's the one studio light with a grid on it, and then I've got a strip box on camera left for fill.
Okay.
Just 2 lights.
Yeah, this is not where your light was when you took the shot.
Yeah, it was more straight. It was more straight to the side.
Yeah, had to be back here somewhere. Coming in on that. All right. Then did you rotate it? Is that what you did?
No, I said it's a different setup. I moved those things.
okay.
I took over 200 pictures of these, so I did all kinds of configurations with those. So I shot the behind the scenes when I was done. So yeah, it's
all right.
That behind the scenes is not the same picture you're seeing. It's just a basic concept.
Basically what the tools you used. Good shot. Yeah, Matt, very nice. Jan.
Hello there.
Hi, Jan. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Good. So we've got some gold in, and what is this in?
That's in grit, in aquarium grit, actually.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's brass. They're brass tools that belong to my husband's grandfather, and he worked in a foundry, so they were used to finish off the molds for pouring the molten metal into. So
Very nice. Really nice, but great patina to the brass, for sure. I'm wondering if we could, I think the shot needs a tad contrast, okay?
Okay.
Because I'd like to see the gold pop more, but not too much more. In other words, we go too far with it, it's gonna look garish, right? Don't want it to look garish at all. But I think maybe a little contrast on those brass alone could work. So maybe you do a second layer with more contrast to it. So the gold is popping a little bit brighter in here, right? And then put that layer below this layer.
Yeah.
And then using a mask, just gently brush it, put your brush at like 20%. So you've got to brush it several times to really see it.
Okay.
And very gently brush in a little bit more contrast to these brass items.
Right.
Yeah. Now there's a vignette that's in post.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you can adjust that in post. I think that's what we could do to this picture.
Okay.
And maybe when you're in that other layer, saturate it just a little more than this. So we get a little more of the brass color.
Yeah.
And then when you're painting it back in, we'll have a little bit of more patina because we'll have this color plus that richer brass color coming in with the highlights.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Give that a shot. Yeah, this is really pretty. Let's see how you lit it. Big scrim on the side, nice.
Yep.
Yeah. You came right in. This has got to be a 24 to 85. You're at 24 millimeters? Really?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, wow. So those are much smaller than I think they are then. Did you have to crop anything out of this picture?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I cropped the edges because I'd put it in a tray and the tray was white. So I had to crop out the edges. Yeah.
You'll never realize how wide a 24 millimeter lens is until you go into the studio and set something up on the table. And you look through it and you got the bathroom door and the kitchen and the way it's like way wider than in your mind it should be, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed it is.
Yeah, very nice.
Can I say something about this one?
Yeah, please.
How I would approach this one. I had put 2 black cards on the side, on each side, and cut it some piece of paper there on the black itself, and then place a light on each side. And the light that comes from the cut pieces would be very nice and contrasted for this gold, just to pop out.
Yes.
That's the one image itself. It doesn't need to be second or third.
Yep. Jerry Campion has a question.
Okay.
Jerry? I got people raising their hand. If you're raising your hand, go ahead and speak. It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't understand what Ionis just said. Like I
I
understood
said,
the words, but
I said to place 2 black cards on each side, and then cut it. You know, just some pieces, very thin pieces inside. Cut the black card itself.
Okay.
Random card, whatever you want, and then place the something like that, random, you know, sporadically, and then place the light behind it. Yes, and where you lead in, that shape of light of cut it pieces would reflect on the coal and the gold itself, and that would be very nice contrast.
That
Like
would add, yeah.
It will add very dimension, very nice. I have done it. It's very cool.
So you wouldn't shoot light through the slits, but it's just a reflection
of the cutted piece. Yeah.
All right, I understand. Thanks.
Yeah, that's very nice effect. Just out of camera.
So you can.
SOCC.
So you're saying
sock.
cut the holes and then put a white card right behind it like this.
Card or scrim, or if you want to make it more soft or more
But
harsh.
you can put a scrim behind it and actually shoot a light through it. Very subtle light. There's that you can do.
It depends if it's a big softbox or a small reflector. If it's a small reflector, then put a scrim behind that black card, and that will come out very nice, very beautiful.
And practice first, because these, if you want to get some light going across it here, that hole is going to be a whole lot smaller than you think it's
exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
Maybe an inch hole, because the light comes through this and then expands like crazy.
Not even an inch, you know, it's very, very small, very thin.
Yeah, you just play with it. So this is called this, by the way, putting something in front of a light with holes and stuff is called a cookie, not a graham cracker cookie, but a cookie, which stands for Cucaloris. So
it's very nice setup. I use it a lot for jewelry. Very much love the light. Yeah.
Jerry, go ahead. Ask your question, sir. Jerry Campion, you got to unmute yourself and just ask. Jerry, are you out there? You're muted.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry.
I just lost control of my toilet, beaten in a physical match.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you very well.
Hello?
Yes. We must have some serious audio problems there, Jerry, because we're not hearing you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, what was your question?
No, sorry, I didn't have a question.
Oh, your hand went up. That's why.
Oh, sorry. Okay, apologies.
No problem. No problem.
Didn't mean it.
No problem. All right. Let's see here. Next up is lovely shot, Jan. Lovely shot.
Thank you. Thanks.
Andreas Fleck. Andreas, are you here, sir? Or ma'am, miss, whatever. Is Andreas masculine or feminine? Oh, I'm going to be canceled on Twitter now.
It's masculine, but can't hear him.
Not here. They're not coming in. I don't see a name. All right.
Oh, he's there. I can see him, but I can't hear him. I can see him moving his lips.
Oh, where is he? Andreas, yeah, we got no audio, sir. I'm not
Okay,
even, there you go. There you
what
go.
about now?
Yeah.
Okay, greetings to everyone. First of all, from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm pretty psyched to be here since I feel like a first-class student today. And well, let's see what you got to say to my picture.
Great job on the pipe. Great job on the pipe. Nice highlights here, highlights here. You've got dimension with the highlights because it goes from black to the highlight to black to another highlight to black. And you've kept the pipe in front of this gray so that the black edge still delineates the white, or delineates itself from the background. I think you could have benefited from a spray light, just a little light coming and hitting the back. So it's a little bit brighter here and darker here. You can do that in post, but it's better to do it on set. I like everything you did. It's great. Little texture in here, texture of the silver. It's well done. I'm not crazy about the matches standing up there. I think there's too much of it. I like this match here. My cropping for your shot would be closer to something. Well, maybe we'll get this guy in here. Closer to something like this. The reason is the pipe is the hero. There's no doubt about it. It's the hero of the shot. And there's too much to the left and it's too busy. So we only need to see one pipe cleaner actually and one match to get the idea. Okay. That's really nice. Now you're lighting it from two sides, which is a great way to do it, but don't forget that top backlight that over the above it that's coming down and giving edges up here. So you got the lights, the highlights here, but not up here and not here. And that's, I think, an important part of the pipe is to catch that rim at the top, which would give us the thickness of the rim, which is hard for us to discern, right? That top light would light that up because angle of reflection coming down on the pipe with the camera, angle, boom, there's our softbox up here somewhere, and it works. So
if you go back to the behind the scenes shot, you could like show me where to put this spray light or this top backlight. This would be helpful. No, it's one back. I mix up the yeah.
All right. So first of all, your background is right next to your table here, right?
No, actually, it would be in the next picture in the next time, but this time it's like a meter away.
Good. That's where it needs to stay. So you got your table here and you've got your background here, right?
Yes.
Here's where you put your light. Right here. And then start with it 2 inches away. Start with the light right here. Because when you put that light right up next to the wall, the paper, right? It chokes it. It only lets it go this far and that's it. So you get this little bitty bright area. You're not going to show the bright area where the flash is hitting it. You're going to be showing this where it kind of creeps up the back, right? Then you move it back until you get the size you want. If you have it really, really close, you're going to get a bright light here. If you move it back maybe 4 inches, you're going to have that softness coming all the way out to here. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you put it here, you're going to light the whole thing up.
Yeah. If you look at there's below, under the table, there's a speed light with a paper tube.
Right, shining on the background.
Yes, it's aimed at the backdrop.
Yeah, but it's not making a round circle. It's covering too much. Your camera's only picking up this much of it, and I'll bet you when you fire that flash, it does this.
Okay, so that's what you mean with the spray light, right?
Yes. So you start with a light close to the paper.
Okay.
Really close. Okay. And then move it back until you get what you want. Second thing is move your set back on the board. Move it back to the edge here rather than in the middle of the table. This is our humans. We every time we set something up on the table, we put it in the middle. That's what we do as a habit. As you know, we don't put our food on the edges. When shooting, work to the edge because your I'll show you here in a second. Come on. There's so many things to do with Zoom here. your horizon is low enough here because you're coming straight across to it, but in reality, it could be down to here,
Okay, right.
which would give dimension to to this thing here coming up into the background before it gets to the apex of the curve.
Okay,
Here,
yes.
and it pulls up. So those are two things right off the bat.
Thank you
that
very
I will
much.
tell you. And the other thing is, well, you've got your light in pretty darn close, so I'm okay with that. You're working with a big light in close, so just tweak it a little bit, and we'll see what you come up with. This first time you've done something like this?
Yeah, actually, it's the first time that I give it to someone who really knows his job for criticism or for learning.
Okay.
Since I have that's not my personal studio. It's I have the ability to do this in my company. They realized that I can hold a camera. I'm holding a camera since I'm 12 years old. But they say, okay, you do the product shots, and well, okay, I can do that, I guess, and I'm training.
No difference at all
right
between shooting a lake and a pipe. Nope, pretty much the same. Yep. No,
I think that's a great job. I really like that shot.
yeah, it's a very good job. And for someone who's just you understand light. You said you've been shooting for a long time. You do understand light. We can see that very well.
Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you, Andres. Mark Shaw.
Hi, Don.
Hi. Aloe Vera, I mean?
You know, I don't even know the name. I don't know the name of that plant. My wife says it's a cactus plant of some sort.
Yeah, it's an aloe vera. I've got a whole collection of them out front, different kinds. This looks like a type of aloe vera. This is what you can cut this off if you have a burn. You can grab a little piece of, make sure it's aloe vera and not something that would burn you. But aloe vera, you can cut it and you can wipe it, rub it on the burn, and it takes the heat away. Love your highlight here, giving us this texture. We know it's kind of a rusty, textured surface, very nice. But I love what it does to the cactus up here. Really, really nice. You've got a highlight on the top of the rim here. A little bit something here. Where is this highlight coming from? Do you have a light on?
No, it's all just that one card, Don. I mean, no, sorry, not a card. It's actually the light. I shot it through the scrim, as you can see.
Okay, so I think what's happening is the scrim is getting light up here.
Yep.
So the whole scrim is being lit up here, and this handle, as we can see, is angle of incidence, angle of reflection. So that's where it's coming from. Because your light, and if you brought your light up even higher, you'd get even a little more of it. See what I'm saying? Because it's that angle that is lighting that. This is picking up right here. It's picking up the top of that softbox that was way up there.
Yeah.
Little bit of light defining the edge here, which is the table itself. Reflecting back, because you don't have a fill card over here of any kind,
Nope.
right?
I tried it, but I tried using a fill card, but then I was getting a big white spot on camera right. And I thought, no, I don't care for this. And I played with it a little bit more, and I thought, you know what? I don't think I need a fill card.
Here's what I'm shooting some things for myself here for fun. And here's what one of the things that I would say to do is add your fill card, okay, and get the shot. Then shoot it this way. Then put the shot with the fill card below this one here, and with a brush at 10%, just reveal what you want.
Yeah, that would work.
Yep, because the fill card by itself is, going to do this to it, right? It's going to light all this up, which looked good on the cabbage that we saw up earlier. Looked good, but on this may not look all that good, and yet we don't want this stuff to disappear into the dark.
Yeah,
it's going really, so we can fill it and just bring it back ever so slightly in our post. Nice
that would
shot.
work.
Nice shot.
Thanks, Doug.
Very nice. Yeah, absolutely. Lawrence.
Hey, Don.
Hi, is this a purse?
Yes, it is. I've been
Wow.
on
How heavy is this thing?
Well, depends on fully case, I guess.
Yeah, wow, really pretty. The nice color up here, reflections up here. The using the stones look like they're squared off. And so the light reflecting from here, which is up there, we get all these little speculars in here on it. It's really pretty. And then we get smaller corners and edges speculars all the way around. That's laying on a very matte surface. So this is so much shinier than this, and it's certainly visible to our eyes. We can see that difference. That's very cool. Very cool. Nice composition. See your.
So it's just one light on the left.
One big tall light.
Yeah, it's yeah. I was told if it's and then I've got a wee silver card, which is angled just to get the tip of the beading work at the bottom of the purse.
If you can try it, the next time you try something like this, just for me, take this big scrim and lay it like this way so that it comes all the way over the top of this thing, okay? And light it from the back, because this purse will just absolutely astound you with the reflections in the black. It'll be amazing.
Actually, sorry, I turned it down a bit because I thought it was too much contrast, and so I had the diffuser very close.
I would actually add contrast to I don't know if I'd add contrast to the entire shot, but I'd add contrast to this, because the blacks look softened to me. And I think it would pop out so much more if those blacks were nice and deep here. But if you bring that light over the top and all these facets show, I think it'd be a very cool shot.
Okay.
Very nice. It's still a cool shot. Thank you, Lawrence. Still
Thank you.
Yeah, very much. Andrea. Andrea, are you here? Okay.
I think in the comment she says she can't join.
Oh, okay. Doesn't have a mic. All right. Is this? Yeah. Okay. So this is a light with something in front of it. Looks like a paper in front of it. Oops. Sorry. It's coming down into the. Okay, I think overall the shot is too bright. Andrea, I would take it down. Let's let this go black up here. You've got a lot of texture in the wood, but because it's it's blowing out here a little bit, this is very bright. Let's bring the whole shot down a couple of points and just see what we got here with it, because I think it looks overexposed to me just a little bit, maybe about a half stop. I'd pull it down. I like the texture. The hard light really does give it texture. We can see the difference between the chrome and the smooth and this, but we need to pull it down a little bit so we get that more, the roughness of it rather than the sheen of it. We're on the higher end of the spectrum luminosity there. Let's bring it down just a little bit. And that's handheld flash with this. So even though you've got the diffusion material in front of it, it's still a fairly poppy light at that distance. Very good. Okay, setup's the same, different subject. All right. Lee shot the pineapple. Lee, did you focus stack this?
No.
Okay. You just shot it at like F16?
Yes, I believe so. But I have the notes.
Does anybody here shooting with the new Canon R cameras?
Yes, me, R3.
Okay, R3. Anybody else shooting with a Canon R? Anybody shooting with a Nikon Z, a Z camera?
R6 for me.
Who's that?
Joe.
Joe.
I am.
Yeah, those cameras have focus stacking built in, you know.
Yes, Arnold is shooting a Z6, and he had a very big trouble with focusing, focus stacking.
No, they don't have it worked out yet, or was it take?
Yeah, yeah.
I've
he
heard
had
that
a-
sometimes
he had
it
a
takes
very
too
big
many.
problem.
Huh?
He had a very big problem last night.
Oh, I've heard that they
Yeah.
have a problem with it taking too many.
Yep, that's it. It's
Yeah.
not very intuitive and you end up getting a whole bunch of shots. So I've been
Ah.
just shooting with Helicon Focus.
Yeah. Well, Helicon's, you know, going to be around for another couple of years. I think
Yep.
focus stacking is going to be at every camera you buy, every mirrorless camera you buy. I don't think they're doing it.
Actually, he said that when he put to synchronize with a flash with triggers, it doesn't work. The focus stacker doesn't work. It works only with ambient light.
Yes, because there's no way to control the time.
Yeah, but Canon, my camera actually R3 is working perfectly with triggers.
Yeah.
Has no problem.
Yeah, I've
like
heard
Arnold did.
the same thing about the Sony focus stacking. It doesn't work with strobe. There's no way to, you know, it just
And
doesn't. It just snaps
I
through.
was surprised when he said to me that I said, how is that possible? Yeah, he had a big problem using that.
Yep. So the flashes can't recycle fast enough. I guess you just go out and buy a Breeze system. Get an 800-watt pack and 2 heads and some modifiers of the Breeze system should set you back a little under 25,000, but they're good strobes. They're really good.
But shouldn't they work on a Nikon Z6? They are.
I don't know how fast the recycle speed is. All I've heard is that it's lightning fast.
Yeah, but that's $2,000 camera, I think.
$25,000. Oh, you mean the camera?
Yeah.
I don't
the
know.
Camera, the Z6.
The Z6
Mine is something like no, it's like 6,000 euro and 500, something like that.
Yeah.
Very, very expensive one.
All right, back to Lee's pomegranate.
Yes, it's a pineapple.
I knew that. I was kidding about the pomegranate. I really, I like this, Lee. You cropped it so forcefully, you know, crop the top, crop the side, crop the bottom. You know, it's like right here in our face. It's really kind of a cool shot. And the texture, even though the pineapple is, you know, known for texture, you went for the other end of it. The subtle textures of the leaves and those things. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like
This is
what you did.
It's inspiration from Orozco paintings that are in your face.
Oh, okay.
It's like the hands. Have you seen the Orozco paintings? Have you seen the hands that pop up out of the image, almost to grab you? That was the idea.
Okay.
But I don't know if you're familiar with Orozco. So
Yeah. Wasn't yeah, I'm
it's a
familiar. I'm
Mexican
familiar.
muralist.
I sometimes I get him mixed up with Diego Rivera.
Yeah, the similar school, but Orozco, what Orozco has, it was bold. Everything he did is super bold. His hands, similar to Diego's hands, but they are even double size and they come out of the image. The perspective control is like you have these massive hands that actually go into perspective, into the painting, but the images of the hands are popping up. That was pretty much the idea I wanted. Obviously, the leaves are not popping up, but
very cool. I love it.
And since we learned that bubbles are not texture, but we have a big debate for next week to talk to Arnold about it.
Oh, okay.
So we did double image. This was the second image after learning that bubbles are not texture. But I think we have a good debate on that.
Bubbles are not texture. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no,
They
that's
are
what
texture.
Arnold says.
That's what Arnold was saying.
That's what Arnold was saying. So we were having a very interesting debate on
I don't
Facebook.
I don't know
And
of
then
any
we have
reason.
like to be continued.
I
But
don't
what
have any
happened
reason
is
to-
I posted my bubbles shot And then I deleted it after Arnold gave a very good dissertation about why bubbles are not texture.
I don't see any reason that they
But
can't.
then
be
we
texture.
disagree, and we're gonna leave it for the next session.
Texture can be shiny, so
Texture can be shiny.
even though the spirit of the shot was to show texture. If it's a bunch of little bubbles, that seems texture to me. If it's one big bubble, that may be, pushing it. But all right, Mark.
Mari.
Or Mary.
Mari, like, sorry.
Welcome here.
Thank you.
Are you new to this?
I'm new and I'm a relative newbie too. So I'm learning so much from you all.
Are you ready for this, relative newbie?
Yes.
Very rarely do I find a relative newbie that puts the horizon at the right spot. And you did. So good for you.
Great.
So often people put the vase in the middle of the table because when we're setting the table, that's where the vase goes. And we try to take a picture of it. You put it to the back. And so the curvature of this thing comes out, and just as it rounds and starts to go down is where you put your line. You are literally at the top of the best place to put your horizon. You could have moved the horizon to here as well. Anywhere when in here. I'm glad you didn't put it above the circle, because when you do, or the curve, right? The apex of the curve, right? If you put it above, the eye doesn't tend to see it. We just see the flare, but nicely done. Beautiful light on the flower and very nice subtle light down the side here. Look at this. Really, really cool. I'm not even going to look at your behind the scenes yet. I'm going to ask you, are you working with natural light here?
No, it's a softbox.
Softbox, all right.
Uh-huh.
All right, now I'll go over and look at
It's my one light, my speed light.
Hey, all you need is one. No, actually you need three, but you can start out with one. You can do a lot with one. Really
I'm lobbying for more.
If you like this kind of work, by the way, don't get a speed light. Get an inexpensive Godox plug-in strobe. You can get a nice one for $125. And it's a studio unit. The ones with the batteries cost $400 and $500, but the ones you plug in are only $139 to $200 for how much power.
Hey,
Since you're
Don.
working in a studio like this, they're great.
I was going to say my MS300 Godoxes are $100 each.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
But,
yeah, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then you have the Bowens mount on the front of them, and you can put soft boxes and grids and everything else with the Bowens mount. You've got that flexibility. The reason I shy away from speed lights in the studio is not because they do not work. They do work fine. No problem with them, but they have no modeling light in them.
Right.
So you can't see. So how do you add a modeling light to your speed light? Well, you go. I didn't even give you a chance to answer, did I? Go ahead. How do you do it?
Well, maybe with your cell phone or like a flashlight.
There you go, flashlight.
Yeah.
You go down to Home Depot and they got those little squatty flashlights sitting at the thing. You put 2 AA batteries in it, right? You get a little piece of Velcro and you Velcro this flashlight on the top of your speed light. And the flashlight, even though it's going to light this up, the flashlight isn't powerful enough for you to even worry about turning off. So if you took a picture with the flashlight on, you're going to see where your highlight is and everything, because our eyes are very sensitive. You're going to see that. That looks good. If you took a picture with just the flash at let's say, well, what did you shoot this at? You shot this at
F8.
F8. If you shot it with just the flashlight at F8, you'd have a big black picture, because that flashlight isn't nearly enough for F8 at a 200th of a second, right? So you just leave it on and you can see what you're doing.
It's in the softbox. I'm trying to
type right on top of your speed light. So you're seeing where the speed light
is.
It's just like
yeah. Okay, cool. That's a great tip. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's go back to your picture. Nicely lit. Your softbox is in nice and close. Your fill card back here is really doing a lot for the front of the space. So Let's go back here. Just opening up the front of the vase a little bit with that front fill card. Without it being a highlight, this is your softbox and this is the white card to the side. Your flower looks good and your leaf looks great.
I actually tried it with water in it because, you know, that you put water in a vase and that disrupted the lines. Then I had a third line. And you can see in the behind the scenes that the water spilled too, like everything fell over.
Oh, oh, it all, yeah. Having stuff fall over is just part of the adventure.
Yeah.
Yes, very nice. It's a beautiful shot. It really is.
Thank you.
The only thing I would add to this, and this is of course adding a second light, and that is to get that something back. You've already done it here. You should take that back. Maybe you don't have to add anything. Let's see what you did here. Come on. Hello. Facebook has crashed. I don't know why. Come along here. So here's your set. Oh, where's your setup shot? Here's your setup shot. Okay, see your card here. Had you a bright white card? Is there space between this card and this thing?
Oh yeah, lots of space.
Put a white card there, just facing that way, right?
Okay.
And make it touch your background, so it's right up against your background. Then you'll end up with a beautiful, oh, wrong way. Soft. See how the light's brighter here?
Yep.
You can control that with that white card. If it's too much, move it back. If it's still too much, move it away from the background a little bit. But you can get a nice reverse. This is Rembrandt lighting. Rembrandt lighting is basically the highlight against the shadow of the subject against the highlight of the background. So you create this dimension by making this light a little bit brighter on that side. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
You bet. Nice shots. Iona Shamini.
Sorry, Don, could you say the brand of the flash again, the plugin?
You're in Europe, Jan?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Godox sells in Europe, right?
Godox.
Godox.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Okay, so you want a Godox SK instead of the AD. You want the SK line.
Thank
The
you.
SKs are, you can get like a 200 watt second SK studio strobe that plugs in in the US here for $129.
Wow.
You can go all the way up to a 600 watt second unit, which I think in the States here is about $250. Or if you get the one with the battery built in, it's like $700, to give you an idea. If
Thank
you're
you.
never going anywhere with your lights, you don't need the battery. You just need the lights. And as somebody who's been doing it for 50 years, I've never had a battery strobe until, well, I've got some batteries that I can use for other strobes here, but I never had that. We had to take Honda generators with us. So, you know, it's really great that we all have these things, but you don't need them to make photographs. All right, very good. Is it Iona? Is Iona here? Iona? If you're here and I can't hear you, make sure you.
I think she's having trouble getting onto Facebook today. But she was planning on attending.
Okay. Oh, darn. I don't know. All right. Well, I don't see her here. Iona's very pretty. I'm sorry you're having trouble getting on Facebook today. It's a shame. It's a lovely shot. Really nice with your wick or this oil lamp here. The warmth of the oil lamp is really, really cool. And yet we've got some nice correct color around it, which looks fine. I think that I would probably in post warm this up right here a little bit, just a little bit here, because we do have an orange light source in the subject We're not seeing it down here. Just warm it up a little. I can see it in the shadow here, so that's fine. Texture wise, we've got the old books and the cloth here, and look at the cloth, nicely done. There's no sharp, jagged points. When cloth bends and you get that sharp point, you got to get in there with your finger and smooth it out. We never have bends in fabric. Shooting food, the hardest thing about shooting food is getting the napkin to look right. So Iona, very nicely done. Nicely done.
Oh, that's for the next one.
Not a behind the scenes. Okay, Norm, is it Norm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Very nice. Cool corn shot.
Yeah, I thought of corn right away when you said textures for this society.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why. I wasn't even sure I could find corn this time of year, but I found some.
You did indeed. And you got the hair and the husks, the texture of that. This is a nice composition, by the way.
Oh,
Pulling
thanks.
us in and surrounding the corn here, the hero corn with the shapes here, you know, pulling it off and this, and we have this sort of thing coming down here. That's really nice. Got a bit of a vignette, a little bit darker up here. Very good. A little bit darker. Is that post or is that in the lighting?
I think some of it's in the lighting because I actually brought up the lower left corner in post.
Okay. I like your little standing up corn here, by the way. So that's
Yeah, what I really wanted to do was like this picture standing up, but once I started peeling the husks and stuff, I couldn't really get the composition I liked. So imagine that like peeled open like a banana with the hair and everything. That's what I was trying to do, but it just didn't work.
You know what? This is a cool shot. The only thing is, like I said before, there's too much of this to here.
Too much what?
Too much of the surface from the horizon to here. Put your horizon here. See what I'm saying? Then that corn is standing against the background.
Yeah, I might even be able to do that in post. I had to actually,
Yeah, you can do that in
stand
post.
holding it up that I had to Photoshop out.
Yeah, you can do that in post. You can change that in post easy.
Yeah. But I wanted the corn along with the husk and the silk. So
yeah, well, this by itself is a pretty cool shot. I don't
Yeah.
know. Is that on my screen or is that on your corn? That's on your corn. You want to touch that out there.
yeah.
Probably 20 or 30 minutes in Photoshop here to make everything just perfect. That would look really great. Look really great. Yeah, this is really good. You got your light right down on the top of it. Is this a strip light?
Yeah, it's got a grid on it too.
Okay, all right. The grid focuses the light, keeps it off the background, off the foreground.
It's in nice and close.
Yeah, very
I've learned
good.
a lot from these workshops, but the best thing I've learned is what you said right at the beginning. Start as close as you can and work your way back if you need to.
Yep.
It's made a big difference for some of my pictures.
Good. I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it works. Because I
Yeah,
just made that shit up out of my head, man.
Yeah. Works for me.
All right, Norm. Good. Beautiful
Thanks
shot.
a lot.
Beautiful shot. Mark.
Hello there.
Mark's a food shooter in Columbus, Ohio. Really nice, Mark.
Yeah, I thought this is a good example of textures. When I did the shoot, I was looking for something that I could use for it. And with the texture, the meat, the fruit on top, the highlights, the shadows, that plate, and then the tablecloth, I thought it would be a pretty good shot for it.
Yeah, I think it's a very good shot for it. You did a great job with it. The highlights on the top. Now, are you using your oh my, we've got a lot more shots to go through and running out of time, but we'll just keep at it, folks. You're using your ambient for this?
Ambient and Octa, my regular setup for it, yeah.
Okay.
I got windows on the right-hand side. That table was maybe 1.5 feet away from the wall of windows.
Okay.
So it had the wooden louvers, and I adjusted them so I didn't have a straight light coming down to give me shadow or like a hard light, just nice ambient light on the right, and then Octa box.
Yeah.
Kind of at an angle behind where that drink and the candle are.
I'm not going to go into it really deeply, but let me say that if you're shooting anything like this anything on a table, any kind of still life, especially food and stuff. Now, maybe not jewelry like Giannis and that high reflective things like Arnold does. But if you're shooting food like this, you bounce a speed light up into the wall on every shot. What you're doing is you're opening up the shadows. Now, when you take a picture with just the speed light or just the strobe hitting the wall, all you should see is a very underexposed picture. Underexposed, but still a picture. With me? That way you're controlling how deep your shadows can go. No matter what you do with your main light, you already took care of your shadows with the ambient. Adjusted ambient fill or deliberate ambient fill is one thing that separates a lot of pros from the amateurs. Every major portraitist I know has ambient fill going on. So be aware of that. All right, so hold on, guys. Hold on. We're going to run out of Zoom gets really pissed if my recordings go over 2 hours. So I'm going to stop recording.